Hello there friends and followers, and welcome to this Explain 11 video. We are currently situated at Stovepipe Wells in Death Valley, California. Today we're going to be taking a look at the recently released Series SR20 Entegra edition by TorqueSim. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the 3D modeling, texture work, aircraft features, and of course we're going to take it for a short flight here around Death Valley to put it to the test. So without further ado, let's get started. In terms of the actual 3D modeling, the aircraft is quite an authentic replica of its real-world counterpart. The attention to detail is massive, and everything has been really textured to make this aircraft an immaculate replica of the real-world Series SR20. As you can see here, the 3D model is exceptionally well done. Everything is detailed, everything is in high-resolution textures as well. From the exterior 3D modeling and texture work perspective, I believe that the Series SR20 is one of the most high-fidelity renditions of an aircraft created for Explain 11. The interior of this Series SR20 by TorqueSim is again an exquisite replica of what you'd see in the real aircraft. Everything has been modeled with a lot of finesse and attention to detail. The actual texture work is really of the highest quality, and you can observe how well this is done through the edges. For example, as you can see here, you can see the curvature. Everything really is done quite well. Beautiful texturing on this aircraft. As you can see, the attention to detail is massive. You can see the area around the rudder pedals, the aircraft registration. You can see the yoke inside there, or the flight stick. You can see the amount of details right here. The instruments, the textures, the knobs, switches, gauges, everything is really done with a lot of finesse and a lot of attention to detail, which I have a lot of appreciation for. TorqueSim has integrated a fully functional control panel to accompany this aircraft. The control panel gives you access to the aircraft settings, features, and maintenance. In order to access the control panel, you can either hover your mouse over to the left side of the screen and click this icon, or directly from the Explain 11 menu. Let us go ahead and bring up the control panel. The control panel has four main tabs: the General tab, the Maintenance tab, the Load Manager, and the Livery Generator. The General tab gives you access to the ground equipment, settings, the starter type, and the fuel flow at full power. You can also charge your batteries from within the General tab. The Maintenance tab provides you the ability to maintain the aircraft airframe and perform regular inspections as well. You can also refill or change the fuel. You can also inspect the engine accessories, fuel system, oil systems, tires and brakes, or perform an overhaul for the engine. The Load Manager gives you access to the aircraft payload and fuel information. You can set the passenger simply by clicking on the plus sign. You can also adjust the weight of each passenger by using the plus and minus signs. To add a passenger, simply click on the plus sign and the passenger will be added. To remove the passenger, simply click again on the minus and the passenger is gone. As you can see, while we were changing the weight of the passengers, the CG envelope window updates in real time, ensuring that you always have the proper takeoff and landing weights. You can also set the aircraft fuel by moving the sliders to the left and right. The Livery Generator is a nifty feature that allows you to change the aircraft livery exactly to your liking. Also, it gives you the ability to change the aircraft tail number. Once you're happy with the changes, simply click on Regenerate Livery and the livery will be automatically created for you. The Series SR20 Entegra edition is equipped with the Series airframe parachute system. It is fully modeled and fully functional. For extra fun and realism, the shades have also been modeled and are movable. For extra realism and challenge, all the circuit breakers aboard this aircraft are fully modeled. A fully modeled and functional oxygen system is also available aboard this Cirrus SR20, exactly similar to the one that you'd find on the real aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for us now to start the aircraft from its cold and dark state and take it for a short flight from Stovepipe Wells to Furnace Creek here in Death Valley. The departure airport is Lima 09 and arrival airport is Lima 06. It's a very short flight, approximately 10 minutes. And hopefully we'll be able to expose the aircraft sounds and systems and take a look at how the aircraft handles up in the air. So without further ado, let's get started. First thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on the aircraft batteries, so battery 1 and battery 2. And I'll tell you, the sounds on this aircraft are quite nice. They're, again, high fidelity sounds by TorqueSim. Job very well done. You can see all the lights and everything appears exactly as it appears on the real Cirrus. And we are going to turn on the avionics. And as you can see now, the displays are coming to life. The first thing we can do here is set up our fuel. And once we're done, we click on fuel done. And then we have access to the engine instruments here and temperatures. And we can toggle the temperatures between Celsius and Fahrenheit, depending where we're flying. I'm not exactly sure what lean assist is yet. I haven't really delved that much into the aircraft. And then we have, of course, the emergency checklist and the regular checklist. So let's move on here to the checklist. As you can see, pre-flight, before starting, before taxiing, before takeoff, and then of course you have the next set of checklist. We also have the nearest airport, and as you can see, we are going to be flying to Furnace Creek today from Stovepipe Wells, about 15.9 nautical miles from our current location. Then we've got the trip. Currently, we're going to be going to Lima 06, that's our waypoint, and TAWS, which has all the weather information and what have you. And of course, we have the map. Now, the map, you can change the display or the traffic on or off. You can change the view, track up or track north, and we can also add the clutter to the aircraft, or we can declutter. This way, I think this is a good, it shows the airways. And of course, you can change the base map as well to the type of map that you want, or to completely turn it off. I find the base map to be, or beg your pardon, the terrain map to be the best one for flight. You can also change the range here by toggling the, or using the mouse wheel on the knob here to zoom in and out of the current position. If we move up to the navigation device here, we can look at the heading bug, and we can simply click on the button that corresponds to heading in order to manipulate the heading. And we can do the same thing for the altitude bug. So if we click here, the altitude bug is now active, and now we can change it using the knob here. We're going to just set this to 3000, and we can do the same thing for the VSI, baro reference, and the navigation. Now, the navigation today, we're going to go to GPS 1 for our flight to Furnace Creek, which is a short flight. All right, we are ready now to start our engines. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the mixture is on full rich and the throttle is full forward. And we're going to make sure the aircraft fuel is on the fullest tank, which is the left tank, or actually the right tank in this case. And now what we're going to do is we are going to give it a short prime and boost. And then we're going to retard the throttle and open it about 1/4 of an inch. Let's get our keys, and we're going to start the aircraft. Still no life. There we go. And we have a good start. Let's start alternator 1 and 2. We're just going to give it, there we go. And the aircraft has now started. You can listen to the sounds, beautiful sound really on the aircraft. Let's switch to external view. And beautiful sounds really on the TorqueSim SR20. We forgot our lights for sure, so let's go ahead and turn on the nav lights, strobe lights, landing lights. Pitot heat we don't need right now, and everything else is ready to go, and we are ready to fly to Lima 06. So we're going to release the parking brake and head over to the runway. The SR20 Entegra by TorqueSim fully depicts the electrical system and engine state information through those two windows. The two windows are accessible from the service menu from the Explain 11 bar here. Right, parking brake is released. Right, folks, we're going to set flaps for departure. All right, and we're good to go. Got to use the toe brake to steer the aircraft on the ground, but once you have sufficient power, then you can use the rudder pedal to make sure the aircraft is on the center line. All right, rotate. Ooh, strong wind. It's really fun hand flying the aircraft. Right, and we're gonna ease off a little bit here on the mixture. Let us now make a few turns to get a feel for this aircraft. We're going to begin with a right turn and a left turn. Tell you, this aircraft is pretty fluid. Right rudder and left rudder. Very, very fluid aircraft. All right, let's go ahead and stall the aircraft. I'm going to idle the power, and we're going to pitch up. And there we go, that's the shake. And the aircraft is definitely stalling. There we go, and we're just going to give it some power now and recover from the stall. If you are interested in more information on how to accurately fly the Series SR20 and interested to learn how accurately TorqueSim has modeled this aircraft to simulate the systems and flight model according to the real world aircraft, I recommend Reflected Reality channel, which I will link in the description of the video. Here's the turn towards Furnace Creek, and the airport is right ahead of us now. Alright folks, what we're going to do now is we're going to disengage the autopilot. The airport is right over there, so let's go ahead and disengage the autopilot. And we're going to reduce our power. And as you can see, this is the runway. Really a flying aircraft to hand fly. Beautiful scenery by Orbix as well. And as you can see, this is the airport. This is Furnace Creek in Death Valley, California. And that's our turn. We're going to extend flaps. And we can see the runway in sight now. Really beautiful aircraft, very, very immersive. Right, flaps. And we're going to keep it at about 75 to 80 knots for our landing. And flaps full. Welcome to Furnace Creek. That was a really fun short flight from Lima 09 to Furnace Creek here in Death Valley, California. Brilliant aircraft by TorqueSim. Now, if you already have the SR22 or previously purchased the SR20, personally, I don't see that big of a difference between the Entegra and all the other aircraft. But again, I'm not a real-world pilot. I haven't flown the aircraft in real life, but the fidelity is outstanding in terms of the modeling, in terms of the system simulation. Is just really outstanding. And again, by an account of a real-world pilot, this aircraft is a true rendition of the real-world counterpart in terms of the system simulation, aircraft behavior, flight model, everything. So if you haven't purchased any of the previous aircraft, this one is definitely one that I would recommend. In fact, I would recommend any of the SR22 and 20 series by TorqueSim. And for that matter, any aircraft by TorqueSim proves to be a high fidelity rendition of its real-world counterpart. So definitely I would recommend getting this aircraft if you don't have any of the previous ones. Right, let's bring the aircraft to a complete stop here, and let's go ahead and take a look at the landing replay. Let's kill the engines. My final remarks on the SR20 Entegra edition by TorqueSim is that it is a high-fidelity aircraft and a true rendition of its real-world counterpart. A definite buy if you don't have any of the previous aircraft, but if you do and you still want to get this one, you will get a discount from X Aviation, where the aircraft is distributed and available for purchase. This aircraft receives the Q8Pilot seal of approval and the Platinum Award, 10 out of 10. Well, folks, this brings us pretty much to the conclusion of this video. If you have any questions, please do post them in the comments section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.